First, you will need to get your athlete in the correct position. They will need to be sitting down upright with their knees straight. Their ankles will need to be in a neutral position, and to achieve that position, you will tell them to point their toes straight up to the ceiling, and you'll have to remind them that they have to hold this the entire time you are taping them. Sometimes they get distracted and their ankle starts to fall a little bit. You can remind them by gently pushing their foot back up, or just telling them that they need to keep their foot up and their toes pointed towards the ceiling. We have 2 steps before we use our tape. We like to use sticky spray first. We use either Tough Skin or QDA. Both work the same, it's just kind of a preference as to what you want to use. When doing this, remind them to keep their foot in the neutral position. You spray lightly, you don't need too much, a little will go a long way. Next, we use our heel and lace pads. These just help prevent with rubbing in the spots where your ankle bends the most. They just have some Vaseline on them to help stick. You stick one below the ankle and one above. Our first step with tape is with our pre-wrap. I like to hold my pre-wrap roll under versus over. This will cause more tension on the tape and it will create less rolls. You can start at the top of the leg, over the heel and lace pads, or on the top of the foot. That is your preference, wherever you want to start. I like to start at the top, and you only have to go as far up as a long sock would go. Any higher than that is just a bit excessive. I like to start up here, and I make sure to pull the heel and lace pad underneath, and I keep the roll of tape close to the skin, giving it some tension and letting the tape go where it wants to go. With this tape, if you try to pull it in a direction it doesn't want to go, it will create rolls, and that can cause blisters for your athlete. If for any reason you do start to get rolls, they will look something like that. When that happens, all you have to do is pinch and pop it off, and you can do however much you need, and then you can keep going along your tape. Our first step with our white tape is our base strips. I like to do 3 up top and 1 on the foot. When doing these, I put them at an angle. That makes the tape stick better, and it reduces the risk of wrinkles. I overlap them to keep the tape from splitting, and it just makes for a stronger ankle tape. Again, I do 3 around the leg. Okay. When I go to the foot, I make sure to not do it as tight as I did up here, because if I do it too tight, it'll push all these bones together, and that can be very uncomfortable for the athlete. So what I do for that is I pull the tape out and I gently wrap it around their foot. Again, at an angle, that just helps the tape stick better. After our base strips, we will do our basket weave with stirrups and horseshoes. With the stirrups, you will start on the inside of the ankle. I rub it down so that the tape doesn't pull off, and I pull out and I pull up at a little bit of an angle to help the tape stick better. That is our first stirrup. After that, we will do our horseshoe, which goes under the leg. I do mine at an angle, and we always go from the inside out. I pull up, and that's our horseshoe. I will repeat that set 2 times. You will do a total of 3 stirrups and 3 horseshoes. Our next step is our heel lock, which tends to be our most difficult step. You will start at an angle, and you will pull under the leg, around the heel, under the foot, and back up. Okay, that is 1 heel lock. You will do 2 on each side. So I will repeat it on this side. Under the leg, around the heel, under the foot, and back up the leg. I like to alternate, some athletic trainers don't. Completely depends on your own preference. So again, under the leg, around the heel, and back up the foot. And then last one, under the leg, around the heel, up the foot. Each time they will finish parallel to each other. After our heel lock is our figure 8. Every athletic trainer does them differently. This is the way that I have found is the easiest to be done. I pull the tape out, I put it right along in line with that base strip, and I pull up, cross over, and then I cross with the rest of the roll of the tape, go under the leg, and back up, and that's my figure 8. Okay, our last step is to close it, and that just helps secure the tape and keep it from splitting. So when you do that, you do one strip at a time, just to cover any holes you may have, any wrinkles you might have, basically just making it look pretty. You don't have to. I don't usually do this, but some athletic trainers do. You only do one strip at a time, because if you do in one continuous loop, it can get too tight and can be very uncomfortable for your athlete.